Hey, what's up guys? I just want to talk about my wheel and tire restoration and rebuild setup today. It's a big undertaking because the price adds up with everything, but it's also very fulfilling because there are a lot of things about a wheel setup that you should not compromise on, not only for aesthetics and structure, but also because of resale value. So let me show you really quick. So this, you could tell from other videos, I got these Nitto Neo Gen, and in my other video I talk about why I chose them. These are brand new, okay? 205 5015 Nitto Neo Gen. These are SSR Type X in 15 by 6.5. I bought them used and they were all crusty with rust. With dust. You could see my other videos about what they look like before, but I just got them back from powder coating. This is just white powder coat. I paid about $6.80 for curb rash repair and powder coat. The shop who did it, they were very honest with me. They said, hey, you know what, let's just sand it, strip it and sand it, and you can see how it looks. But I mean, these are really rare rims now and very valuable rims. Back in the day, in the early 2000s or in the mid 2010s, I don't know what to call it, but these were still going for about $800 for a set without tires. And so now they're just even more rare because they just get destroyed. So I didn't want to make any compromises in restoring these wheels. I opted to repair that, weld that curb rash up, the full powder coat, full treatment, and that's what it is. So these are SSR Type X and more relatively, quote, undesirable spec. So they're 6.5-inch wide wheels, and there's a 205 tire, but if you look at that, I think it looks perfect, dude. I don't think that a 7-inch wheel would make too much of a difference. So to me, it wasn't a compromise. It was just a spec, a common spec, and that's it. And these are pretty much guaranteed to fit without giving you any grief, especially on full lock. Because I know if your wheels are wide and your car's low and you bend this thing on full lock, making a U-turn or whatever, it's scraping. Okay, you're gonna tear up your fender liner. I know this from experience. You're gonna tear up your fender liner, you're gonna scrape your wheel, the fender's gonna scrape it, everything's gonna scrape, it's gonna make noise, everybody's gonna look at you. Okay, these are almost guaranteed not to do that. That's why they're spec'd the way they are. Okay, not because the original designer wanted to nerf your wheels or anything. No, this is what they're supposed to fit like. So I got the tires, Nitto Neo Gen, SSR Type X, fully restored in a good spec that I'm fine with. Okay, I don't know about anybody else. I had to wait. You know, these actually, there's a little story behind these. These are aluminum valve stems from Project Kics. I picked these up from Evasive Motorsport. Shout out to them. They have amazing service. I called them up as soon as their phone line opened at 10 in the morning. I told them that this is what I wanted. They said, hey, yeah, come on down. So I came on down, bought it on the spot, paid for it on the spot, and took it home. Just like a Chipotle. You know what I'm saying? Same type of deal. You know, show up, tell them what you want, put on the counter, you pay for it, walk out. And to me, that's amazing service. Okay, so I wanted some wheel stems from 949 Racing. They have their own valve stems, and I wanted them because there was no rubber gasket right here. It's just a clean metal piece facing the outside. So I ordered them. I want to pick them up, but it took them 2 days to even respond to my email. They didn't answer their phones, and so 2 days I was waiting for the valve stem so I can get everything put together, and they never responded. So I told them to cancel the order. They said they were busy though. Okay, cool. But yeah, regardless of what's going on, you know, I needed my stuff. So canceled that order for their valve stems. Went with the Project Kics. And the reason I went with a silver valve stem is because I didn't want a black valve stem sticking out like a sore thumb on these white wheels, man. Even this little black rubber gasket was not ideal, which is why I went with the 949. Originally wanted 949 racing ones, but good enough, good enough. So these valve stems were about $10 a piece, $12 a piece maybe. I don't care, man. I don't care, because we're going all the way with this wheel build. Okay, it all adds up. It all adds up, but it all also adds up to a really clean wheel build. The next thing I want to show you are these Ray's lug nuts. Okay, here's a close-up. These are beautiful, beautiful things. Okay, look at that. Ray's lug nuts. And I believe these are the I don't believe, I have the package right here. Let me get them. These are the L32. So these aren't the long lugs. These are a clean stock length lug nut. I don't want to drop anything right here, but I'm trying to take it out to show you. These are stock clean stock length lug nut. And this is definitely something that you want to think about. You can get these lug nuts. I got these through Black Hawk Japan. It's an amazing site. I believe they started really, I don't know when they started doing business in the US, but I know that I don't think they were too popular before the pandemic. And so the service that they offer, I think, is relatively recent. But it's things, what they do is like popping up everywhere, because my brother-in-law said that he's Korean, and so there's a lot of Korean websites that are offering Korean domestic products as well. So Blackhawk, they pretty much offer JDM car parts, you know, almost anything you want at a really, really good price. And so these domestically, I believe they retail for almost $200 domestically. I think so. And I think if you account for tax and everything, I got these at Black Hawk Japan, I think for $100. $100, and I think shipping is $20. So I think $120 for these lugs. Okay, and if you get other type of lugs, let's say not made in Japan ones. You know, there's a few made in Japan ones. They have Project Kics, they have Rays, you have the Spoon lugs, all sorts of ones. Go for the good ones, man. At least spend $100, because I'll tell you why. These add so much value to your setup. Imagine running a nice wheel and then throwing some cheap Chinese-made lug nuts on them. Okay, it's not a good look for your build, and things like this matter. Percentage-wise, it's a large increase. So if you get like some lugs off of Amazon for like $30 versus these ones for, let's say you pay retail for them like $200, it's still worth it. I mean, if you think about in the dollar cost, it's not a huge difference. You're forking out maybe an extra $100 something bucks, but you're getting a really well engineered product, and it feels good, it looks good, and it performs good as well. You know, the tolerances will be on spec. Okay, it is what they say it is. Okay, so I really advocate for you to go on Black Hawk Japan, go through their catalog, and build out your car. Because look, I can only have one set of lug nuts. I cannot have two sets. You know what I'm saying? So might as well get the good set of lug nuts, as opposed. And I used to be like this. I used to not have that much money at all, and I used to try to build these cars, and I used to compromise on every single little part. Every single part was a compromise, and the car ended up being a low quality build. So I'm a little bit older now, so I have more money than I did when I was like 21 years old. So I can afford to spend the money on these types of parts, okay? But if I could tell my younger self that, something, it would be that. So let me give you an example of what I mean. So this is the lug key that came with the car using some cheap lug nuts. Look how thin it is. Okay, you see that? Listen to it. I don't want to slap it on my wheel, but okay, that's what it sounds like. I know I just slapped it, who cares? It's powder coat. If it scratches, then they messed up. You know what I'm saying? But it's thin-walled. What does that mean? Meaning this has a huge chance of breaking when you're either torquing or untorquing your lugs. On the other hand, here's the rays. As you can see, it's much thicker, made by a company who makes the TE37, a company who makes racing wheels. You know, these are manufactured, hear that? It's much thicker, manufactured with much better tolerances and much better manufacturing quality, all for only an extra, let's say $150, okay? $150, $170, it's worth it. It's worth it. You're paying about $100 something more for something that you know is valuable. The other point I want to make is, so besides the build quality, besides the look of it, besides the JDM points you get, the last point I want to make is resale value. Okay, consider that I purchased these. Let's say I purchased them for what I did. Okay, so let me use that as an example. I purchased $120 for these. Okay, and let's say a set on Amazon costs, a generic set, pretty much it does the same thing, but it's engineered to a lesser quality and it's less desirable. Let's say that it cost $30. $30. And when I go to resell those lug nuts, if I choose to resell those Amazon lug nuts, they go for nothing. I could barely give them away. Trust me, right? Would you drive to go pick them up for free? Maybe, but chances are like I could barely give them away. These, on the other hand, if I decide to sell them, think about what you would pay for them, okay? And keep in mind, these are not going to get totally busted up. These will look pretty much the way they are when I sell them. You would pay maybe what, $60, $70, maybe $80. So if I paid $110 for them and I sold them for, like, let's say even $60, okay, I lost $40. And that is worth it. I lost almost as much as I did if I had bought the cheap lug nuts and went to resell them. Because if I bought the cheap ones, I would have paid $30 and I would have sold them for nothing. Again, I could probably not even give them away. And this is from experience. I've had to go through these things. Whereas these ones, I lost $40 if I resold them, but they're much more desirable and I get to rock them. You see what I'm saying? So the differential, if you think about it like that, is not much. Same with these wheels, same with the wheels with the valve stem, same with the tires. Okay, if I ever chose to resell this, I could get top dollar. Why? Because number one, has good tires, all the tires match. It's a quality restoration, quality valve stem, and if I chose, I can throw in the lug nuts too. And so what you're doing when you have a quality build, whether it's wheels or your car or anything in life, when you have desirable, high quality products, you appeal to a quality customer base. The guys who are cheap will not buy your stuff, but the guys who really know what they're looking at, the guys who are discerning, they're the ones who are going to buy your stuff. And guess what? They can afford to pay more because they want the best stuff and the best quality. So that's my wheel build. It's supposed to be a high quality wheel build. It costs a lot of money to get in, but the total product as a whole also holds a lot of equity, meaning it's very valuable. Okay, so that's just something I want to tell you guys. Maybe you got something from that. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Feel free to let me know. That's just my style. All right, see everybody. Bye bye.